everyone. My name is Rebecca Cummings, publisher of the Kailua Town Magazien. We are so excited to be here at the Classic Waves new downtown boutique, talking with Lori Goodgame. The podcast is all about learning the stories behind the businesses that are located in Kailua, and we're super excited to hear and learn more. So, born and raised in Kailua?
Born and raised in Kailua. I actually went to Kalaheo High School. I've always had an interest in fashion design. So, I don't know, in elementary school, I'd be drawing and we'd actually be like, my friend and I would be like sewing things, and we had no formal anything. We'd be making bathing suits and anything that we could draft ourselves, not knowing how to draft. And
that was before the internet and
before any
so
of
you
that.
Just found.
Oh yeah, we would have fun stories like coming to school wearing something new, but we don't know how to do a button or a zipper hole. So the only way to get it off is you have to cut it off because you've only made it to wear, but you don't have the functionality.
Oh, you couldn't like actually get it off?
Yeah, I couldn't get it off. So it was just like trying some new things and wanting to wear something different to school. And that was like the beginning, drawing and dreaming up designs.
That's so fun. And then you studied fashion design in college?
Yeah, so I graduated from UH with fashion design and merchandising. I went a little bit away to Oregon State University. I had a scholarship for fashion design there, and I took a few years over there. And then did a little study abroad to Italy, and that's where like all the fashion was. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay. Italy. So where in Italy were you?
So I was in Siena. We did one semester where you learn art, architecture, economics, language, but you're just immersed in like the biggest fashion place in the universe and in my eyes.
Oh my
gosh, it was so exciting. You see all of the women in their stilettos, but they're walking on the cobblestone streets and
just don't understand.
Yeah. We would go to Milan, and that's the fashion capital, but like everyone, even down to the grandmas, wearing their like fur coats and their little dogs and just like decked out from head to toe.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So you started at UH and then went to Oregon?
So I started at Oregon State, and then did a year there, and then begged my parents. Actually, when we went to Italy, we begged them. We stayed a second semester. So, and then ran out of money and came back to UH and graduated with the fashion design program there. But it was a great program.
Okay, very cool. And then after you graduated, what did you do?
So I actually went straight into the retail industry. I had opportunities to do design. I internshiped with a design company here in Hawaii, but I got offered a management position. So I was with Ralph Lauren for almost a decade. Started as a salesperson and went all the way up to like managing the Ala Moana location for about a decade.
Yeah. What did you learn there? Like, what was that in the high-end fashion industry in Ala Moana?
Really about like taking care of your customers and learning about your customers. They were so amazing because it taught you so much about merchandising. It was very corporate, so the marketing strategies and learning how to build a clientele, and kind of like high-end retail where you think of Hawaii like rubber slippers, like everybody in the store that we're working at in Hawaii are like, you're wearing the cashmere sweaters and you're going out for lunchtime, and then it's like reality. You're like, oh my gosh, why are we wearing cashmere in Hawaii? It's hot. But the culture was really fun, and I really learned so much from that environment. Yeah.
Very cool. And so then that was a decade. What happened after 10 years?
So what happened? I actually had a baby, and I actually left Ralph Lauren because I just wanted to be a mom. And so I was taking some time off, and I got headhunted like the same week I left Ralph Lauren to join Coach. And what was super interesting is they were like, whenever you're ready to come back, we have a job for you. Like, we will wait.
Coach said that?
So, and I said I didn't want to immediately be like a store manager or anything. Like, I'm just trying to be a mom right now. And they said, well, you can be we'll bring you in as a manager, And then after a year with them, they're like, you're so bored. We know you want your own store. And so like the journey began with them. And so I was with Coach for about 10 years as well.
Okay.
Going all the way up to like area manager status, running stores in Hawaii and Guam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guam. I lived in Guam for a year.
I love Guam.
Guam's great. Okay, and so you've graduated from college and 20 years have gone by. What next?
So I had taken a little break from the corporate world because we had a kind of like a, I don't know how you explain it, a bad report with my father's health.
Okay.
So I ended up leaving that company thinking I was going to be a caretaker, which I did stay out of work for about 3 years. I volunteered as a bookkeeper at a homeless shelter for almost 3 years in Kalihi, Shelter of Wisdom. They brought in over 50 houseless male individuals into homes all around in Kalihi. And we just learned what it was like to what the process was of like rehabilitating and getting someone into a home and giving them the services and giving them the tools to get to the next step.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So now it's so funny because I know your story in Kailua, like you worked for Scott and you worked for Sand People. So I just like did
a little bit before that. So then a little bit. I worked for Better Homes and Gardens for a little bit.
Our mutual friends.
After about 3 years, I think my husband's like, okay. So the good news is my dad's health report just improved to the point where we were like, okay, this is definitely not a situation where I'm going to need to be a health like a provider, like a
take care of him, basically, around the clock.
24/7. So my husband was like, are you going to get a job? Like, what's happening? And I just briefly worked a little bit as a personal assistant for Scott. He was right in Kailua. But my real dream was like, I would love to just manage a store in Kailua, be close to home. So I'm available. And that's when I saw that there was an opening for Sand People. They had a management position. And they took me on. They were kind of like, surprised because of what my background was. They were kind of like, well, I don't know, you like
see how this works out.
Not overqualified, but it was just I had so much, and I was like, no, you don't understand. I want to be able to walk away from the job at night and not have to be thinking about it, not having to travel. But I still loved retail, and what was amazing about that is their business connected me to a whole group of people, local artists, because my whole retail background was corporate, like, you know, mainland US, high end. And this was like artisans, makers right here in your own neighborhood. So it was really exciting for me.
And what time frame was that? How long did you work for them?
So I worked for them about 3 years. I think it was about 3 years. And then COVID happened. So
the best part of everyone's life.
So unfortunately, they didn't renew their lease for the Kailua location. And so in the midst of all of that uncertainty, I kind of was thinking, gosh, this is like such an amazing location. I wonder what it would take for me to try something new. It's always been a dream to have my own boutique, to like have my own business. I put so much time and energy into other people's projects that it was like, I think I could do it. There was just a feeling of like, I wonder if I could try to do this and if I could make it work.
But in the middle of the pandemic,
so we were
saying that was 4 years ago, 2021, early 2021.
January 2021. And actually we started our website first. We were like, oh, let's just build this website in the middle of the pandemic and see, like, at least put some creative forces through that. And we just took the steps, like, you know, build your business, decide what your game plan, your business plan wanted to look like, and then move forward and try to see if I could secure a lease without having any prior background in opening my own business, which I did, and they approved it. So
were you, I mean, you had to have been, were you more excited or more nervous? Because to me, the pandemic was it was just so uncertain. We just didn't know.
I think there was a part that was like you're definitely hearing from 99% of your friends and family, like, what are you doing? Like, I'm so scared for you. Every store is closing. But I don't think I could move forward unless I felt confident that I had the background to be able to pull it off, like to a little bit from the corporate background from, Coach and Ralph Lauren, but a little bit of the local background of seeing how Sand People worked with local vendors.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, that was really amazing to like learn about the stories of the vendors that you have in the shop. And actually, that is what took me all the way through the whole pandemic, is because our customers loved, we were trying to support someone right here on the island.
Right.
They loved that shopping here meant they could still have a job as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very cool. So did they think you kicked Sand People out or something?
I think there was a little confusion in the very beginning because we employed a lot of the same employees. I think people were like, is this Sand People? Like, what is it? They recognized me from running the store.
Yeah.
But I think it was very clear we were on a different trajectory in terms of like the product assortment.
Yeah.
We probably had maybe 25 to 30% of the things that I thought could work in the new location. Most of it, like jewelry artists, we loved the jewelry artists, so we wanted to keep them in the shop. But we did look for unique brands that were not in every store, because you want to be able to like walk in Kailua and not feel like you're seeing the same thing in every single store nearby. So we did try our best to, integrate some brands that are not in Kailua originally.
So would you say it took like a year-ish for people to sort of really get to know you and find you?
I think like people, so obviously we had that built-in customer because Sand People, they already had some of the things that we carried in the shop. But we found a different kind of customer because since we are very unique and we're a little extra.
Yes, you are. There are tiaras and glittery dresses, lots of sequins.
Yes,
not
we
in everything.
definitely want to bring in our touch, which is a little glamour and glitz, a little sparkle. So we did have evening gowns and things like that for one-of-a-kind special occasions. It's not unusual, but we've met so many women in Kailua who are going to special events and they just don't want to be wearing the same thing anybody else has. So we've been able to kind of find a little niche of like upscale gala events that people want to shop for.
I know we talked a little bit before, but you opened your store in the middle of COVID in 2021.
It definitely like shocks a lot of people, but I think at the time we saw it as an incredible opportunity to like start something new. So I always say like in the midst of uncertainty, like for me, there was clarity. Like I thought, what a better time than this?
Yeah. So when you were thinking about it and planning it, did you have sort of a business strategy already? You've talked about sort of the types of products you want to have, but how did that what was the plan? What was the sort of process?
So, I lost my job. That was the start of all of it. And then I just started really dreaming, like what would some of the most important things be for me? And I think that just evolved into the 4 pillars that we're all about. So when we bring in a vendor, we always, number 1, is it someone local? We want a local maker. That was like one of the most important things for us. And times are changing, so eco-friendly products were super exciting for us to have a little offering.
Okay.
The other pillar that we had was brands giving back, because at the core of who we are also giving back to organizations in Kailua and on Oahu.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to like throw in a little surprise. So unique and hard to find things was always like something fun that we thought, to keep the store exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. And your store is full of things that you really can't find anywhere else in Kailua. I mean, there are some brands that cross over, but there's just different.
Like our crowns.
Your crowns.
For sure.
The tiaras.
The tiaras.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to feel like a princess. So we were actually kind of shocked at how well it was received for like birthdays, anniversaries, like girls' night out, bridesmaids. So that was something that was kind of fun to bring into the shop.
Okay, cool. And you were you find such interesting things like, what are they called? The little sparkle tattoo things for your face? Like you found those and then Taylor Swift wore them.
Yeah, it's such a nice nod that when you see something that really catches your eye, that there's like an industry backing of that item. And so, yeah, that was super fun. We had the Phase-Its and we were like pushing it. And then we're like, oh, Taylor Swift just did her tour and now it's exploding. And what's cool is we already had it.
Right.
So yeah, some of those things, it's just scrolling in the middle of the night, looking at products, like you're not even sure what you're looking for. And sometimes you're just looking for like, I just want a pop of this color or this in my shop. And you're just looking at what brands are carrying that at the time.
Very cool. And then you talked about giving back, and I know that the brands you carry, that's obviously one of your pillars, but you give back as a business and a store. So you've won some awards. I mean, like, what are you involved in the community?
So we were thrilled to be honored to receive the Shop Small Hawaii Neighborhood Gem, which is like spotlighting brands that are giving back. And so once a quarter, we definitely look at organizations near and dear to us, like the Boys and Girls Club. We did Women's Fund of Hawaii. And then just recently, I'm doing a silent auction item for the Japanese Chamber of Commerce. So, I mean, it's like looking at brands that are relevant for us. Obviously, anything ocean inspired, like giving back and doing beach cleanups. And then when the Maui fires happened, just supporting the existing Maui brands that we had in the shop and setting aside funds so that they were still getting their items bought, even though their stores were closed down in Maui. So, awesome. Yeah, that's definitely huge for us.
Yeah. And, you know, we're both members of the Kailua Chamber of Commerce, and that's just another local business organization. And every time we have a need for a gift or a prize or something like that, you're always typically, I can be like, Classic Waves, Lori.
Well, I definitely want to support that because it's a unique situation because you're getting to really know all the other business owners in your neighborhood, and it's such a great support system. I get a little choked up because entrepreneurship is very lonely and it's very tough and it's very hard sometimes. And you get a network of people that you can go and ask the hard questions and they're like, oh my gosh, me too. I'm going through that. Or here's some of the suggestions I have. I've been in business 10 plus years. Let me give you some guidance. And so, yeah, I get a little choked up because of that, but it's because it's such a strong network.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad it's been beneficial. And, you know, it's a welcoming group, and it is hard owning your own dough.
I know, right?
But owning your own business is really challenging, and it's hard to. You have a family. I have dogs, but trying to balance everything and have a social life is really difficult.
Well, the way I balanced it is I dragged my whole family into the business. So sometimes you will see my husband, sometimes you will see my daughter, or even my son, now my sister. And I think it makes it so special when you have like that built-in family support system. But on top of that, I have like a really incredible team that drives the business like it's their own too. And they're so proud of what we're doing also.
Yeah. And so your family, I did want to touch on that because obviously your husband, Peter, is like just down for anything.
Oh, yeah.
Every event you have, he's there. I know he's like the handyman, fix-it construction guy, but he's also worn angel wings.
Oh, and he's the model, he's the janitor, he's the operations manager. He actually took like 3 weeks off when we opened up our new shop just to help make sure like the walls were painted, the fixtures were in place, like super invaluable. Like I couldn't have done it without him.
He's clearly just incredibly supportive, which is really fun to see. But I mean, obviously he was involved in a way when you first opened the store, but the rest of your family, was that a plan or was that something you were wishing for? Or did that just evolve?
Obviously wishing for help because in this time and age, it's so hard to find really good people who love the brand and want to see it succeed and have the time and the money and the effort to just like put back into it. But like your family, they're willing to like bend over backwards for you too. So it was never a plan, it was always an ask. And one by one, they slowly like made their way to the brand to help mom out or help the wife out or help the sister out. And what's so nice is they're still here, so they haven't ran away totally. My son still does some remote stuff, even though he's not on the island. Yeah. So yeah, it's been
he's
great.
Here in the winter.
Yeah,
I think he's here for some
checking
months.
it all in, doing all the tags. So they all have skill sets in such different places. So it's been really good to kind of put them where their strengths are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then moving forward, ideally, do you want that to continue? Do you want them to have like a bigger sort of responsibility and role, or is it just sort of see what happens? And
I would obviously love to continue to expand and have like my kids eventually like want ownership and take it to the next level. But they really have to find their own passions in life and what excites them. Yeah. So in the moment, I'm so honored that they'll still be with me, but it may not be forever. Yeah.
Well, that's a good balance to have. What was I going to ask? Oh, so expanding is, I know you just opened literally a week ago, the new store, but in terms of in the future, do you want to open more? Are you trying to see and feel out what happens here?
Yeah, maybe because I'm so fresh and opening another shop, you're just like trying to take it all in. Yeah. But obviously, if it continues to be successful, yes, we always get asked, you know, where next? And so I think in the back of our mind, we're always looking at the perfect next location. So that always just constantly happens, so that when the timing is right, we know where we would want to go. But I never say never, so we always kind of leave the door half open.
That's good. I like that. And then in terms of, so you've been a part of the magazine, Kailua Town Magazine.
Which I definitely am so in love with.
Well, I appreciate you. And just because you have a background in sort of high-end fashion brands, like 20 years of experience working with them, your ads have such an editorial, really sort of a high-end fashion look, but there's always a touch of Hawaii. There's always like an underwater shot of a mermaid, you know, with some really cool lighting. I just like, is that something that you thought about before, or like, and you're always doing video shoots and photo shoots and stuff like that. I mean, what's important to you about that? And do you have a vision? How does that all work? How does it all happen?
So for number one, we can't go forward without even talking about Corey, who's behind the cameras over there, and Haleloa Media. So number one, if us finding that was like so paramount. Because,
how did you find them?
Gosh, was it through Gabby? Or no, it's Renee. Renee had experience with Corey because her daughter, which you'll see modeling for us as well,
model.
had a lot of experience with Corey. And we were looking for like an underwater shot. So he was like the guy who already had built in some time with
And that was
Paris.
one of the first ones, right?
Yeah, and so she was already underwater. They were creating a lot of like fun underwater scenes. And because we were ocean inspired, that was like right up our alley. But month after month, we partnered with Haleloa Media, I think just from the very beginning, 4 years ago. And they've been with us on like every single photo shoot, pretty much, every single video. And what we love is their nonprofit. They're raising up youth for media careers. A lot of times, what you see on the Instagram, on our videos, those are students. And they're taking the lead behind the cameras, and I think that's exciting. That's super all about us too, like them raising up the youth and giving back and giving them opportunities that they wouldn't have in, you know, to shoot a brand. And I think collaborating has been the hugest thing because Corey would also have a lot of feedback on like, okay, I'm throwing out ideas, and he'll be like, well, what about this? And so one of our shoots was a little bit of a collaboration too, because he had a whole vision of like a mermaid like coming out of the water with like a smoky lantern kind of thing feeling. And so that's what we love, is like the collaboration part. Yeah, because it's not always our idea, but like we're building on to each other what we think we can accomplish together.
And clearly over 4 years, you guys have gotten really comfortable and trust each other.
No matter what, they always get the shot. Yeah. So we're never without. Yeah. And they're so proactive. They're always on time, very professional. I've never had a glitch. And I feel like we're so lucky to find someone that we can like grow and expand and work with together.
Sure.
So,
and have you seen, because, they basically take students and teach them photography and videography, and have you seen growth in
oh my goodness,
those students that have been working with you?
And that's why, like I said they always get the shot because they're just quiet, unassuming, they're paying attention, they're observant, and they're getting the opportunity. So they're really learning as they go, but we never feel disappointed like this is subpar or not professional enough. Actually, it's quite the opposite when we see customers and they're like, oh, I saw this on Instagram, or I saw that video, like who is doing your production? They're very surprised to find out like it is students behind the lens. So I think that's such a huge testament to like what they're doing not in the nonprofit.
Good job, Corey.
Good job,
Keep
Corey.
up the good work. That can be part of it,
you can have like a whole thing for Hello and Media. But I mean, I definitely will always recommend them because sometimes other brands too are like, where do you find your still photography? And they do both. They'll do the video and the still.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then a lot of your photo shoots, you will partner with other businesses and shoot at like various locations or things like that. So, I mean, are they usually receptive to that?
So we've had a nice reception. I mean, we've done a few things at Go-En. We've also partnered with like Aesthetic Hawaii. So to use their venues, or like Haiku Gardens at Haleiwa Joe's. So they've been really, really wonderful. I think when they see like the pre-production and like they go onto the Instagram, they already see like what they can achieve like through the partnerships. But it's also nice. I mean, we're all here to cheer each other on. There's not really a sense of competition. We're like, yes, I would love to like work with another vendor in Kailua. It's not about like, we don't want to do that. We definitely want to like support each other. We're all small businesses trying to make a mark, and there's enough room.
Sure.
There's definitely enough room.
Yeah, that is I mean, I've been in Kailua for 20 years and that's basically where I do business, but it's such a special place in terms of people are willing to help each other. And for the most part, people want other local businesses to succeed.
Yeah,
so
and I think because of that, it lends itself to like more collaborations. I mean, like for example, Suzanne Jennerich, she has her own studio, but we're still able to collaborate in many different ways.
Yeah.
And so I think like going forward, even more brands want to do that. They want to reach out and support one another somehow.
Cool. Awesome. And then in terms of your actual marketing, do you have a marketing strategy? Is your, like, what's your get the word out?
Obviously, Kailua Town Magazine is one of the biggest marketing strategies. Like we'll do that year in and year out, the 2 times a year. And I think we get people who point back and let us know, oh, I saw you in the magazine. So we know it's getting to the hands and the eyes of, this neighborhood. But I think we consistently do like 1 brand shoot a month. Okay. So we are working with Corey then once a month on whatever new collections are coming into the shop. Okay. We do feel we're lacking in some places, so hopefully we can beef up our, our marketing and our strategies like online, because our online business is very hard to keep up with. We do very small batch, so sometimes it's like as soon as you put it on, it's gone. Right. So we're trying to figure out like how do we manage that a little better. Okay. But definitely the once a month photo shoots is part of what hits everything. So it'll go onto our blog, it'll go onto Instagram or Facebook, and then might make it into our website as well.
Okay. I will admit I have not looked at your website in a long time.
It's very lacking. It probably has like 20% of our products. So if you do go online, it's just a little taste. Okay. And for us, we'll try to do a better job of like maintaining it, but it is mostly because we don't do mass quantities of one item. Yeah. And that's what makes it so special in the store. So a lot of times you might not see it all. And so if you shop on our Instagram or if you call, we do personal shopping, like, oh, I saw this in your store, call us up. We could still find it for you. It's most likely maybe still in the shop.
Okay. But then in terms of your blog, do you write it? Does ChatGPT write it?
I wish I knew how to use ChatGPT more, but I honestly write everything. Okay. And it's mostly like highlighting events coming up. Okay. So for the, people will probably see a blog once a month from me. And then maybe as we integrate like, more storytelling, we can talk more about our vendors, and hopefully that'll be to come for this year.
And I mean, for me, it's really hard because there's putting the magazine out, there's Instagram, there's a website, there's now a podcast. Like, it's hard to prioritize. So obviously the store is the most important thing, but you have a manager and a team. Like, what are your priorities?
Well, definitely we want to give the customer experience in the shop, because we have 2 shops that you can physically walk into. So that's definitely our priority.
Yeah.
But the second thing is, like, we always talk about we're storytellers. So making sure our team knows like the why behind, why did we bring this brand in? What did we love about them? What's a little background, so we can share it with our customers too.
Cool.
So, and then definitely just making sure like the product is always like something new coming in. So that is a little bit of our strategy, newness, and then getting the word out, and then being involved in the community. So the events are super important for us. Yeah.
We've talked about some of the brands and the pillars, but you also carry a lot of Kailua-based brands in your store. Like, who have you partnered with?
So we definitely have like Kailua honey. We have Hapa salts. I just have to like look around. We got Suzanne Jennerich, Jenny Hellman's from Kaneohe, but like, we definitely love bringing some of those micro businesses over here too, and kind of giving people a little sampling of like what Kailua has to offer.
Okay, very cool. And one of the things I was wondering is just the biggest challenges you faced over the 4 years.
Okay, so
is this a list? Or?
I think like the biggest challenges as a business owner is like partially funding. I mean, we kind of went the unconventional route, and we self-funded most of everything. We haven't had to do like normal business loans, and so I think that has been a little tricky, but also like
good.
Not needing to do it has been like really helpful because we had it. But staffing has always been something that's a little interesting. We definitely feel like it's harder to find very good people because of like the climate that we're in. But we have lucked out and really found some really great people. Even though if it's only part-time, what we found was our ladies, this is their fun side job because they don't need to work really. And they've been so reliable for us. But awesome. To find someone good, we were so happy we found Rachel, our manager. And we had been looking, I will say, on and off for like 9 months. And I kind of just managed the Kailua store after our previous manager left the island, thinking I could do it on my own, but kind of still putting feelers out there. It was very difficult to find because you're competing with corporate America. I'm a small business that doesn't really have like everything technically set up the way like you would go to a corporate job. And so we had to be really flexible and unique and kind of imaginative about like the benefit package that we had to really like make it worth someone coming to a small business.
Yeah. No, I remember you talking about trying to find a manager, and then you found one. Yeah. And then you opened a second store.
No, and that was actually the plan. So when we were interviewing Rachel, we actually let her know, because she is actually from the town area, that it is in hopes that a second location would be born, and then she could be here, which would lessen the commute. So she got the training she needed in Kailua with the hopes that she could run the next store, which has been so nice, because I would like to stay in Kailua, but I love downtown. It's been so fun with like all the restaurants, all the nightlife. We're getting our second wind in our old age, but it's been so fun. The food is so yummy.
Yeah. It's a different scene. I was at your first grand opening party, and all I could think was, this is not my scene. This is so not Kailua.
Well, it's definitely different than Kailua.
Yeah, but it's fun. There's so many bars and restaurants.
Yeah,
and a
the
different
first Friday
type of,
was like super fun. We got to walk around ourselves once we closed up our shop, and for the last 2 months in prep for the store, we've been like visiting like local establishments, all the eateries in this town, and it's been so good. I probably gained 10 pounds. It was like trying everything, but the food is so good.
That's awesome.
And actually the other small businesses around have been so wonderful, like Ginger 13, they've been a great neighbor, kind of pointing everyone to us, and then looking to see who's near us, like Fighting Eel.
Yeah.
You have like Roberta Oaks, some of the people who've been here for a long time, and just seeing how like you can carve out your own little something over here too.
Yeah, very cool. Well, good luck as, you continue with this first month. And then as we're moving into the summer, I mean, it's almost June. No, it's almost May. I'm fast forwarding the year faster than it's going. Well, do you have anything planned for the summer months and like?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to take advantage of First Fridays here downtown and have our own pop-ups. We are integrating a lot of newness in this new location. So we don't have a kids section in Kailua, so we have kids products, but we're looking at like a lot of different ways to partner with either the arts down here, with kid entrepreneurs, with vintage pop-ups, because this whole scene down here has such a different vibe. Yeah. So we want to just also be relevant and not just like try to duplicate what's in Kailua if it has a different, following here. Okay. So just being flexible and kind of being open to like what might work here better.
Cool. Well, I will be excited to come to more First Fridays and see what's down here that's not in Kailua and see what new things you bring in. Anything else you want people to know about?
Oh, yes. Last but not least, this space is so much bigger, so we want to do workshops here. Okay. So we are looking for like a table to fit 8 so that we can do like floral shops or like mosaic kind of things or a painting, and have some of our artists come down here or like discover new artists that want to be a part of some of our workshops.
That's exciting.
Workshop pop-up, something like that.
Okay.
That's kind of something new because we don't have the space in Kailua.
No,
but
you don't.
We do have the clientele here in this area that loves that kind of thing, like a make and take kind of workshop.
Oh, that's very cool.
That is something definitely we want to talk more about as we get like the fixturing and setup right in this location.
Okay. Very cool. Well, thank you, Lori. I'm so excited that we could do this. This was a take 2, so there are 2 versions, but Corey will weave them together. And but be sure to come to Lori's location in Kailua. It's 600 Kailua Road, so next to Morning Brew and Lanikai Bath and Body, and then we're on Bethel Street in Chinatown, across from Jay Dolan's. So
Thank
come
you
check
so
her
much.
out.